We also know, and one of the most beautiful things that I like about psychedelic experiences is that there are always themes of death and rebirth. You hear the stories of people who felt like they were going through a dying process, when in fact they were actually extremely physically safe and needing to give themselves permission to die in order for their whole true self to get reborn. Something that's probably a little less dramatic is, letting old habits die so that new, more healthy habits can form, or letting old relationships come to rest so that new, more beautiful relationships can come forward, right? So a lot of different ways of, death and rebirth. It's actually pretty interesting to note the monomyth, the hero's journey. That's actually where we get the term heroic dose from. In the future, I'll do an episode that breaks down, heroic doses versus the hero's journey and how that plays into psychedelic experience. But if that piques any of your interest at all, definitely go and check out Joseph Campbell's work, The Monomyth of the Hero's Journey. I think there's a lot of applicable themes and concepts there as it relates to the process of self-discovery with psychedelic work, right? And then I think the cool thing about it, death and rebirth through psychedelic experiences, is that we get to return, like we get to come back to sober reality having had this experience. And so that kind of notes this departure and return concept, which is why we call it a trip anyways, right? Like, why do we call it a psychedelic trip? Well, we get to go on this departure, this adventure, whatever it contains, and then we get to return, bringing some type of meaning or insight or higher purpose into this. So I'm breaking down some different themes that I find and then trying to tie in, okay, what then makes the difference between a spiritual emergency and a spiritual emergence? And before I do that, I just want to really add a level of normalization and validation here. Because as I'm sharing about my own experience through my own spiritual emergencies or dark nights of the soul, I straight up thought I was broken. I was like, oh my God, I must have unlocked some latent gene, and then now I'm crazy and insane, and this was all the stuff that they were telling me in DARE when I was younger, and I'm not going to be able to come back from this. And I think that it's really powerful to hear from other people that it's okay what you're going through, and that there is a really, really strong chance that you are not only going to endure and survive this experience, but you are actually going to come out of this potentially better and more whole. And so I just want to note that to anybody out there who is listening to this, who might define any of this and hear this and be like, that is actually something that I'm going through. I just want to tell you straight up, you are not alone. There are people out there who care. And there is a world where you can make it through this, and not just make it through, but have this be one of the most important defining moments of your life and how you engage with the world around you. This stuff used to be better built in our society. We used to be able to take a little bit of time off from work and productivity. We used to be able to lean on our community who might understand that we're going through something challenging or difficult, who might not automatically label things. Oh, this is just a mental health crisis that you're going through. Oh, this is just a midlife crisis that you're going through. Oh, this is just insert the blank, right? And unfortunately, in our society, it's now shifted from an inherent right to figure out who we are and how we fit into this world, to be a privilege to do so because there's work, there's other people we need to take care of, there's bills that we need to pay, and the responsibilities don't stop. So I just want to share with you that if you find yourself going through something similar to what I'm describing in this episode, and are like, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, I don't have the support, and I don't have the capability to go through this, I hear you. And I would say that I really, really understand. And I disagree with the last part, that you don't have the capability to go through this, because I believe that any one of you out there listening to this, I do believe that you have the capability to do so.